motorbike friends, welcome to another Wilbers install. This time not on Harleys, but on the old lady, the 1994 GS barista car, completely stock, and she is getting new front fork springs and oil and a new rear shock. Of course, on these old models there is no Nivomat self-leveling technology available, but just to replace the stock rear shock with a custom-made Wilbers shock will be a big improvement. And as I'm already having some Wilbers stickers on the bike, it needs to get the Wilbers suspension in addition. Otherwise, yeah, it would be faking with the stickers and without the springs. Yeah, honestly, I didn't plan to change the suspension on the GS, as she's absolutely bone stock and original with a little more than 20,000 Ks, around 13,000 miles. Third owner bike, model year 94, as you see here on the license plate. I was able to get a customized license plate. And fun fact, in my high school years I was working exactly at this company in Munich, selling those boxes to the guys traveling with their GSs to Africa through the Sahara Desert. Nevertheless, I wanted to keep it stock. However, it was tempting to see the Wilbers Oktoberfest 10% discount, and therefore I decided to upgrade the front fork with Wilbers fork springs and oil, so stock look will be retained. And as the monoshock in the rear is hidden behind the cover and those panniers or aluminum boxes, nobody would easily recognize that it's not the stock one anymore, and I will keep it anyway. So just waiting for the package to arrive, and I'm going to prepare the GS to save some time tomorrow. So the front wheel, fender, fork legs need to be removed, and as those adventure bikes have perfectly balanced main stands, it will be sufficient just to secure the main stand, that it's not tipping over, and then I can remove the whole front end without needing the help of a lift. As I mentioned, that should do it. So the main stand cannot collapse, and as soon as the front wheel is removed, everything will be securely seated on the rear wheel. So let's start with some preparation. As I'm not familiar with this bike, I needed to look up the right socket sizes, and let's put some oil underneath here onto the threads of the fender mount. To make sure that everything is it should be quite easy on the GS. A 6mm Allen for the clamp and an 8mm for the axle. So let's start by loosening those clamp screws. Then the front axle. Then the other two pinch bolts on the other side. And then I hope we can remove the front wheel without needing to remove the brake caliper first. Of course, it needs to be removed later on for the fork leg. There you go. Well, Harley Davidson, take this as an example how easy it could be to remove the front wheel. But I think on the Pan Am it's almost as easy. So I will loosen the brake caliper bolts. But I will just loosen them, as I'm not sure how this will interfere with the front fender. Oh, that was definitely not only the oil. This dauert jetzt lang. That was part one, just the fender. And then we have the fork bracket down here and the brake caliper. Now we have to take care of the bracket here and secure the brake caliper somewhere. So the fender and the brake caliper is secured, and now we have here 5mm Allens for this bracket, stabilization bracket. There's definitely a proper name for it. Don't forget the washer. Here we go. And now it's time to remove the first fork leg. Here we go. Looks like a 6mm Allen as well. number 1. And here we have the bracket of the brake caliper. Here we go. Careful with the fender. And here we go. So, first time that I'm opening a BMW fork leg. I found the proper socket. Checking the turn direction, and most important, checking the preload. Not too bad. During the disassembly of the fork tubes, I found out that the interiors are asymmetrical. So this damping tube with this adapter piece is from the right hand fork leg with the brake caliper mount, and this damping tube without an adapter, as it's already shaped like this, is from the left hand fork tube. Springs are identical. Just waiting for the Wilbers springs to do a comparison. And everything is cleaned and waiting to be reinstalled. The damping tube. Make sure the damping tube is seated. Now it is. And these screws require very little torque as they are aluminium. So the recommended torque is just 15 Newton meters. And that's it. Normally I don't do unboxings anymore because they are kind of boring. But as we are not expecting a regular Nivomat kit, this might be interesting. Here we go. Okay, certification documents, warranty card. And here we have the new progressive fork springs. We will compare them with the old ones. Looks they are longer. Maybe we don't need the compression sleeves. I have to check that. As always, a spanner wrench. The required 1 liter of Wilbers fork oil. Oh, nice. And the GS single shock. The bushings here are secured. But what's left in the other box? As I told you, we are transferring 2 GSs. One already has fork springs from a different brand, so it's just the rear for the other GS. Oh, nice. And as the other GS is a Mark I model with a white and blue color, we choose to get a blue spring for that one. So here we have the stock springs and the preload sleeves, and here are the Wilbers springs, and as you see, definitely we don't need to reuse those. And with all Wilbers fork springs, it's important for the required oil level. Look on the outside of the box, it says Luftkammer, which means air chamber or oil level 160 here on this one. So after bleeding the fork, we need to adjust 160 mils for the correct oil level. $160mm sounds quite a lot, but as the fork tube is pretty narrow and the spring is very long, there's a lot of displacement with the to put in some more. Okay, then as always, fork completely compressed, and then we will measure the 160 millimeters. The tool is already set for 160. Nice. That worked well. And again. Here we are. Okay, 160 is set. Now we put in the fork spring and the end cap. This one is the one without the brake caliper, so it's just the spring and no adapter. As always, thicker end facing the top. And this one is pretty pretty soft, so it can be easily done by hand. Definitely not the tightening, but the initial setting. Recommended torque by BMW, 20 Newton meters for this one. Let me just get the torque wrench and my spanner tool, and then I'm ready to go. That should do it. Everything was so tiny in the 90s and earlier. So first one is done, one to go. So just determining a strategy, as this bracket is not one-sided. I have to figure out whether it's going to be mounted this way or this way. Let's see. So I will just give it a loose fit with the other fork leg and see if they are parallel. Yep, they are both parallel. And to check that, I will insert the axle, and then I'm absolutely sure. Okay, now we insert the fork legs into the triple trees. And somehow get the fender as well. Okay. Just a test fit. Of course, I have to check the triple trees and the axle. Oh no, that looks very... So definitely they have the same level. Yeah, looking good. So I will torque down everything with 15 Newton meters, and then we will continue. Lower ones are lower triple trees are with 2 screws, so like with the Harley triple trees, or actually with any triple tree with 2 screws, we need to repeat the torque sequence 2 or 3 times to make sure both are evenly torqued. Same with the other side. And the top ones, they are kind of hard to reach. Yeah. Okay, the top ones are done, the lower ones are done. Now we torque down with the same torque value the fork bracket, just with a different size socket. It's a 5mm and not a 6. One more to go, but nevertheless, we have to do this first. And now the front fender. Here we go. This is done by elbow torque. I need to secure it. And I need to look up the proper torque value. Still enough grease on the axle. Maybe try it with the correct orientation. Here we go. Yeah, that looks good. Of course, I need to clean the brake disc. So we need 33 Newton meters for the axle, and then 15 for the pinch screws. So the torque value for the brake caliper bolts is 32 Newton meters. And don't forget to pull the brake lever a couple of times. I already cleaned the brake disc, and now we will continue with the rear. I just supported the rear wheel, that we don't have any tension here. And now it's a 15 mil socket. Let's start with the top bolt. Just remove the toolbox. There's no washer on the inside, just the regular bolt. And here as well. Just the regular nut. Looks like we need to lower the wheel. Yeah. Yeah, seems to be for BMWs without the luggage racks. Yeah. Maybe a little persuasion might help. Maybe not. A little persuasion always helps. And let's put some grease onto this shock absorber mount. So with a little bit of grease, I'll just have a loose fit, and as well some grease on the upper bolt. Not on the threads, of course. And now we try to work this one in. Here we go. And then it's just 30 Newton meters. Just making sure that the nut is not turning. So, perfect. I would say it looks almost like the stock one, especially when it's hidden underneath the cover. And now for a test ride, and we need to do the sag adjustment as well. Not like on a Harley Touring, where the shock is almost upright, so we can measure between the shock bolt mounts, as this one is pretty at a 45-degree angle. We need to take the measurements from the axle to a spot up here. Yeah, that should work. I might take this one. Okay, as always, to set the rider sag, we need to do a base measurement. And here I'm using the mounting bolt of the luggage rack, and I will mark it here at 47. And according to the install instructions, with me sitting on the bike, there needs to be a sag between 30 and 40 millimeters. it's different, as it's not an Evomat. There are different values for those conventional Wilbers shocks. Okay guys, as the battery of the phone is dying, or the camera is dying, the base measurement was 47 and now we should be around at 44, 43 and a half.
41.3.
No change between previous?
No change.
Okay.
So let's try it again.
We will continue and you know how it works, and when we are finished I will be back for the test ride with a new battery.
Hey guys, as I mentioned, there's a second GS involved, an older model with a white and blue color, and I showed you already the shock. And today, a Sunday, I'm going to deliver it to Christian, that's the name of the owner. And I truly had better ideas in my life than taking out the motorcycle in temperatures just above freezing, and it's really foggy. And even more, after delivering it, I will go to work to the simulator that's in here, and then I'll ride home tonight in temperatures even closer to freezing and probably even foggier than right now. Hopefully the suit will keep me warm. You might complain that riding a BMW with a Harley helmet and a Harley scarf,
handkerchief.
it's tolerated as long as you ride a BMW Airhead. So join me on the way into the fog.
Okay, second try. Here we have Christian in working clothes and his, what was the model here? 88?
87.
87, so one of the first ones in white and blue. Already prepared, the stock shock is removed and now we are going to open
New one.
the Wilbers shock. Da musst du jetzt hergehen. Because he has to open it.
Oh,
Taugt er, oder?
yeah, it looks pretty good.
So let's get it onto the other GS and then make a nice freezing test ride. Talking. So it's already installed. And let's do a quick walk around. This GS has almost 100,000 Ks or 60,000 miles, whereas the other one has just around 20,000 Ks. It's slightly upgraded to 7-rock big bore cylinders, although it was a 1000 cc, so it has a little bit more horsepower and double ignition, like an airplane, and a floating brake rotor with a larger diameter and a 4-piston caliper, I would say, oder? 4 Kolben?
Yes, Spiegler.
Spiegler 4 Kolben brake caliper, as
Yeah.
the Germans say.
Yeah, and a bigger disc.
And the original GS design was, yeah, the mother of all adventure bikes, the G/S, and during the late 80s there were only a few companies offering adventure bikes. Today there are much more. Hey Klausi, das ist schon ein Unterschied.
Kann ich bezeugen, 100-fach gewechselt.
Ja, aber wirklich, wie einfach das geht. So, now back to the English. You see, I'm absolutely uncertain where to continue. Müssen wir schnell sein. Batterie fast leer.
Das ist eine Powerbank, die kann man einfach kurz anhalten.
Du, ich mach das Ding jetzt aus. Ich mach das Ding jetzt aus.